In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Well, hello, welcome to the show. It's Sunday night here on Untethered Live. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and I'll be with you for the evening. How are you doing? How are things in your world? How do you feel on a Sunday night? We got some good stuff coming tonight. We're in the great book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. That's where we left off. That's where we're going to pick up. And I can see Lisa Reen's in the chat already. I'm looking for a star, honey. Hang on. You get the gold star if I can find it. How are you? How are things? That'll work. That's a star enough. There you go. You get the gold star. I don't understand this emoji app. I can't ever find what I'm looking for. It's too many things. Too many emotions. I'm old. That's what I'm saying. I've already learned hieroglyphics, and they don't look like that. All right. What's happening? It's good to be back. I had to take a couple of weeks off due to monetary situation, but I'm back. I'm recovered somewhat, and I'm almost out of the black, or out of the, what is it, red? I'm in the black, almost in the black. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. July is a rough month for me every year, but there's always August. Groovy, says Lisa Reen. Excellent. Let me try this one out. Here you go. Have a heart. Whoa, never mind. Scratch that. I hate it when that happens. Now I've lost my chat. I should leave that thing alone. How about that? There, it's back. Okay, I figured it out. Don't touch that thing. Got it. There, have a heart. That doesn't seem to do anything. Are you seeing hearts? I'm just going to leave it alone. I talk better than a emoji. I don't talk very well either, actually, but I'm working on it. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot cup of coffee and the letter P, the number 4. The number 9, actually. How about that? 9. 3, 6, and 9. It was Nikola Tesla who said, if you want to understand the intricacies and the grand architecture of the universe, you need to understand the numbers 3, 6, and 9. I wonder what he meant by that. Just swallowed a fly. Protein. Take that. So how's your week been, Lisa? Nobody's here yet but you, so there's somebody else here. Our little bugger's trying to come back out. He's not getting away this time. He flew in my mouth. He's dinner. Buffer City for me. I will go out and come back in. Well, it looks, apparently, it seems to be going swimmingly for me. I've got good numbers here, and it's all green across the board. So it must be you. Or it might be YouTube. I apologize. Hopefully it won't do that for long. For those of you that joined me over on Rumble on Friday night, you got an earful. I only semi-apologize for that. But for the most part, I meant every word of it. And It was a long time coming, and there was a few things that I didn't talk about that I wanted to, but I didn't feel good that day, so it just didn't cross my mind. So there may be a part 2 to that. I don't know. We'll see. It's got good numbers, though. Almost 300 people watched that video. That's pretty good for me. I usually get 30 to 50, so 300, that's nice. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the month. I might do another one next month. Part 2, things that need to be said. But I did cover some ground, and I did say some things that were poignant and necessary, and hopefully it caused you to think a little. That was the goal anyway. I wasn't talking to any one perfect person. I was just talking in general about things. Fab Daddy, what's up? Did you have a good weekend? I had a long weekend. How about you? A very stressful weekend for me. But nothing I can't handle. I'm tough. Tough as nails. Tough as nails and serious as a heart attack, as they say. Long in the tooth. Mean. I'm mean. Yeah, I worked. Made some fast cash. Sweet. I'm glad you did. That's nice to hear. All of us aren't doing that, but I'm glad you are. But this is the end of the month, or the beginning of the new month, so things should be picking up for me this week. And I'm ecstatic about that. Yeah, it's still the month. July 30th. So August 1st, things should start picking up. I was able to buy some food. Excellent. I hear you. No more ramen noodles or whatever it is. I was down to 2 things this weekend. I had 3 things, but one of them turned out to not be so good. I had a couple of steaks that were given to me. I had a can of green beans and potatoes and a can of pears. So I gave the cats the pears. They didn't care for it too much, but they ate it. And I ate the green beans and the potatoes. And I started to eat the steak, but it turned out they were bad. So I gave those to the cats. So they got something. They ate pretty good this weekend. They ain't complaining. I don't care about that, though. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'd complain more about this than I would at anything else. I only eat like once a week anyway, even if I have food, which I have. I just don't have a lot. But the lack of Mountain Dew, that's a problem. How do you feel about that? Are you one of those whiskey drinkers? Drink nothing but bourbon. I drink like a fish. I just don't drink alcohol. Beer. Oh, I got you. I can't drink beer either. I don't like the taste of beer. It tastes like horse swill to me. I've tried to drink. You know, I play in bars, so people buy me drinks, and I'll try to drink it. It just don't work for me. And liquor, I could probably tolerate, but I have a weak stomach. Oddly enough, I'm Irish and Native American. You'd think I could drink like a fish. Not so much. 3 shots and I'm getting queasy. So I guess I wasn't meant for drinking. A meal in every can. Yeah, I hear you. Some people can subsist off of beer. I had an uncle named Buddy. He's dead now, but he lived a long, long time. And that's pretty much all he did was drink beer. He lived in a camper trailer and drank beer. That's what he did. And I don't think I ever seen him eat. Hard alcohol only on special occasions. I could take it or leave it. I'm not trying to drink. I could go many, many years and never have a drink. It would never bother me at all. I don't do drugs per se. I'm not against it. I just don't particularly have any. So that's how that works. My only vice really is smoking cigarettes. And I smoke cigarettes like a freight train. You can survive for a month on beer alone. Yep. Yeah, you can. But you can't live by beer alone. You need the word also. Christ said that. And he was right. You can't survive by bread alone or beer. You have to have something to fill your spirit. That will kill you worse than anything else in the world is an empty spirit. As long as you got love, or as long as you've got something to fill you up, you can subsist. Without water, you can die in a week. Not true. Takes 2 weeks. Some people that die in 3 days if they don't have water. That's true. I'm just joking with you about that. But you can go for 2 weeks without water if you have the right constitution for it. Specifically if you're fat like me and have a lot of water stored up. The rule of thumb is 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's the rule of thumb, but all of those numbers can be flubbed. If you don't believe that, look at deep sea divers. Sorry I'm late, everyone. Much love. Hey, April. Good to see you, sweetheart. We're just talking about woes. Woes and nons. That's what we're talking about. Fab Daddy. Hello, love. Good to see you, handsome. Aw, that's sweet, April. I guess Lisa Reen will come back. She had some buffering issues. Anybody else buffering, by the way? So I've been having this issue for months now that initially I thought was a heart attack. It was very close to a heart attack. It met all the criteria. But it keeps happening, and I haven't died from it. So it can't be that. So I've asked around. You got heartburn. Well, no, I've had heartburn. This isn't that. My sister came up with the most plausible explanation that I have a bad gallbladder. I don't know that that's true. I'm eventually going to have it checked out. But it makes sense. And her daughter recently went through that together almost, like a month apart, seems like. They both, it's not gas pains. It's not gas. It's like up here. It hits me in my chest. It's unbelievable pressure. It feels like I've been pierced with a javelin. My neck hurts real bad. My arm goes numb. I'm panicky. I'm sweaty. Tunnel vision. Whole 9 yards, like a panic attack. Only it's not a panic attack because I'm perfectly calm. I'm just in pain. It's severe, and it lasts for about an hour, and then it just goes away like it was never there. No repercussions, no side effects. It's over. Whatever. It's weird. So something's wrong. I just don't know what it is. I will find out, though. April says, Lisa, good to see you. I don't know if she's back yet. Heartburn sucks. That makes sense. Yeah, so my sister thinks it's a gallbladder thing, that I have a sick gallbladder. And if that's the case, then I have gallstones, and that is getting into my bile duct and causing havoc. And that could very well be what it is, although it don't feel like it. It feels like it's in my heart. My thought was it's angina, which is a possibility. I mean, I smoke cigarettes and don't have the best sleeping habits or eating habits. It's possible. I don't know. So I'm going to eventually figure that out. I have to schedule some appointments and go see some doctors that I really don't want to have to pay to go see. And then get their opinion. But I've come to the term that it's not a heart attack. It can't be. So I'm out of the woods as far as that's concerned. I just got to figure out what the issue is. Same with you also. Are you having gallbladder problems? And this has been happening on a nightly basis around midnight every night. For like an hour, maybe 2. I've had 2 attacks in one night. Like went away and then it came back and then went away again. But that's only happened like once or twice. Most of the time it'll happen and then I can tough through it and then it's over. But the only way I can tough through it is I get up bare-chested and lean up against a doorpost. It's cold and put pressure on my chest. And that seems to ease it off a little. But I don't know. Back pain sometimes. I'm okay, but more now I feel crooked. Well, you were in a severe car wreck. You may very well have back problems. You might need CPAP. I don't think so. I have no trouble breathing for the most part. This is not a respiratory thing. It's either my lungs or my heart or something in the gallbladder area. It's up here, but it's not respiratory. It's like it doesn't stop me from breathing, you know. And you'd think a guy that smokes as much as I do would have more trouble breathing than I do. But unless I get winded, I'm perfectly fine. I can hold a note for almost a minute. You know, that's pretty good for a smoker. So, go figure. I think the reason that I can breathe so well is because I sing. I think I need to go see a back doctor and then go to a primary physician about the rest. Yeah. Good luck with that. I recently lost my back doctor. I don't know what's going on. I think he might be under investigation or something, but they just quit doing everything altogether. And I've been going to that doctor for 15 years. And he's just gone. Happens during sleep. Nope, I've never woke up with the problem. It only happens when I'm awake. If it does happen while I'm asleep, I'm not aware of it, you know. Yeah, he called me one day and said, you need to find someplace else to go. I was like, well, it took me 3 years to find you. Well, we're the doctor ain't here and we don't have a nurse. So, you know, there's nothing we can do for you. So I waited a couple of weeks and I called back and I said, is the doctor back in yet? Not yet. Oh, so he's out. What for? Well, we can't talk about that. Is it bad? Is a guy dying? That's all I'm asking. You know, is he going to be back? Have you hired a new nurse yet? No, we're getting out of the business. Oh, well, thanks for letting me know. You know, what am I going to do now? So there goes that doctor. Almost 20 years of seeing that guy. That's how the world works, though. So I just keep on keeping on. April needs an MRI to see if her spine has problems. You don't need an MRI for that. Does it hurt when you do this? Then you got back problems. Plus, she was in a pretty severe crash. I would imagine she has back problems. I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, April. All right. Well, y'all guys didn't come here to hear me opine, so let's get after it, shall we? If you got your Bibles handy, crack them open to the great book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. April says, I heard every time I move. I hear you. That's why God made opiates. Unless you don't have a doctor, then that sucks. Fab Daddy says, ruptured disc or worn out MRI can tell. Ruptured or worn out discs. Mine are all disintegrating from the middle of my back up to my neck. They're like half C's. They're like that, flat on one side, and there's no stuff in between. It's all bone on bone. That's just because I'm old and wore out. All right. Great book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Here we go. I don't know why I'm doing this. It just seems appropriate. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled. Remember, we just got through the books about the judges. That there was a famine in the land, meaning they didn't have anything to eat either. And a certain man from Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. Now, this story we're about to embark upon is going to happen very quickly, so pay attention. Excuse me. And the man, his name was Elimelech, which means God is king, or more specifically, my God is king. And the name of his wife was Naomi, which is I moan backwards. And the name of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah. Ephrathites, they're from the tribe of Ephraim. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there, meaning they lived there a while. Hey, Kev, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. So there's that story. And she was left and her 2 sons. So she's widowed. And they took the wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah. She had a talk show. And the name of the other was Ruth. She was a babe, had all the candy bars. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them, meaning they were rough. So they probably died in battle or some such. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. So she's all alone, a widow and an empty nester, all at the same time. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, the 2 wives, Ruth, and the other one I can't remember the name of, Orpah, that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. Well, God does do that from time to time, but this is a rumor. We'll see if it pans out. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return, each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. Why did she bring them all the way back to Judah just to tell them to go back to their mother's house? That seems kind of rich. The Lord grant you that you may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. Well, I'd be sad too. I just traveled all the way back to Judah with you, and now you want me to go all the way back to Moab by ourselves. That doesn't seem right. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. Let us go to Judah with you. Oh, so they haven't left yet. She's just telling them they're just on the way. They hadn't got there yet. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Because you're going where food is? That might be a reason. Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters. Go your way. Shoo! Get out of here! You've seen this trope play out in movies 100 times. She's trying to get rid of them. For I am too old to have an husband. If I should say, I have hope. If I should have an husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Well, no, we'd probably find husbands elsewhere. But, that's a weird thought. Thanks for asking. Would ye stay for them for having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. He hasn't. You're just old. And they lifted up their voices and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. She grabbed her and hugged her. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go. And she's like, crap, I thought I got rid of them. And where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. It's probably a smart move, Ruth. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death, if anything other than death, part thee and me. So she's saying, I'm not going anywhere. The only thing that can separate me from you is if one of us dies. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her, probably cussing her out. I swear I can't get rid of you youngins for nothing. Well, you got rid of one of them, so I guess you're halfway there. So they too went until they came unto Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come unto Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them, and they said, Is this Naomi? And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, because it's Imon spelled backwards. Call me Mara. You can't make anything funny out of that. For the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. She's changing her whole persona here. I guess it's easier to be somebody else than to be who you are and suffer the grief that you have. Women are really good at compartmentalizing, by the way. Men, not so much. We turn into weeping, sobbing messes when nobody's around. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me? I know you felt that way before. I've felt that way before, and I'm a teacher of God's word. I've felt that way recently, and I'm a teacher of God's word. So this story is actually, it's helping people to understand that it ain't always about you. Life is hard. It just is. It's always unfair. It's always bitter. It's always hateful. It always hurts. But if you got the stones to take it, metaphorically speaking, then you can make something out of it and leave a mark. And if you can leave a mark that when you die, you're remembered, that's fantastic. Not everyone can. Think of all the hundreds of thousands of millions of people that never left a mark, that you don't know their names. You don't know where they're from. You don't even know that they existed per se. So the fact that there's something in your life that other people talk about, if that's the case, puts you in the 1% of the 1%. You should feel incredibly honored by that. You are not an NPC. You are of value. And if your name is such that people speak about it when you're not there, you are of high value. And you should count your blessings. We all know Naomi's name, so therefore she's a high value individual. And she should be counting her blessings instead of her curses. So this is a good message. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. That's when things are turning around, the barley harvest. Remember, there's been a famine in the land for a long time. Well, they're just now starting to regrow crops. Maybe the rivers have flourished, and there's been lots of rain, and, you know. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth, of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. So the plan is in action. Oh, yeah, that Boaz guy, he's like late husband's uncle or whatever. I'm going to go to his house because he's got money, and I'm going to glean some ears of corn off of his crops, and maybe he'll see me there, and I can strike up a conversation with him, and maybe sparks will fly, and I'll be taken care of, and by proxy, my daughter-in-law Ruth will be taken care of. Pretty smart move. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field of the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz. Happenstance. It was pure luck that she ended up there. Not so much because Naomi had a hand in this, but as far as Ruth is concerned, pure luck. Now you're beginning to see that the plan ain't for Naomi. Right? Naomi recognizes that she's out of the game. She's lived too long. But Ruth is young, and she's a babe. I mean, they named a candy bar after her. Think about it. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Very nice. Nice greeting. Then Boaz said unto his servants that was set up over the reapers, whose damsel is this? Who is this young hot woman in my field? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is a Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. Now remember this in the beginning, when they first started setting up towns, right? The Bible explicitly tells you that when you glean your crops, that you leave the corners of the crops for the poor, right? Don't pick up what fell on the ground either. Take what you can harvest and go. And whatever's left over, the poor can come in and grab, and therefore everybody gets to eat. Your success begets other people's success. That's the right way to do things. That's the proper, godly way to be rich. Make sure that your bounty is everyone else's and your community's bounty, at least somewhat. That way everybody can be taken care of. This is a very important lesson in generosity and in philanthropy. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. She worked so hard she got tired and came in and sat down to cool off. Then said Boaz on Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here, fast by my maidens. So he's taking her in. He's saying, don't go to anywhere else. Could you not be one of my daughters or one of my people? Not necessarily in the sense of daughter. You know, she's not that young. She's already had a husband. Keep that in mind. So, but he's saying to her, look, you're cute and I'm lonely. Do you not want to stay here instead of, going to other fields? He doesn't know that she came specifically to him. So he says, stay with my maidens. Stay here tonight. Abide. Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? I've told everybody, you're off limits. You don't have to worry. You can go out and work and not be raped. And when thou art athirst, go into the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Make sure that you're taken care of and stay hydrated. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thine eyes? And he's like, Are you kidding? Have you passed a mirror? That thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger. Well, slow your roll there, lady. We ain't talking about having babies just yet. I ain't trying to know you just yet, but, we'll see. And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been shown me. Shown me. all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband. So Boaz knows who her husband is and her mother-in-law. And how thou hast left thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, where you were born, and art come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore. So he's saying, I'm being kind to you. I recognize you're a stranger out of water. You're a fish out of water in a strange land. And I'm being kind to you. I'm giving you a place to be. I'm making you feel like one of the people, which you're not. The Lord recompense thy work, and full reward be given to thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art thrust. Thou art come to trust. Then she said, Let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid. Though I be not like unto one of thine handmaidens, I'm not a virgin. I'm not that young, but, you've been nice to me, so let me find favor in your sight. And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. No hanky-panky tonight, buddy. She didn't even sit by him. She sat with the workers of the field, and though he served her, she ate and left. So she's a good woman, and he's in for the chase now. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves. Let her even get good stuff. The stuff that you're bringing in for me. Let her get some of that too. And reproach her not. Don't say a word to her. Let her work and get as much as she wants. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So let her take whatever she wants, but just in case she doesn't, drop some for her, some good stuff, and don't say a word to her. Let her get it. That's pretty nice. So she gleaned in the field until evening, and beat out that she had gleaned, or shucked it, as we would say in the South. And it was about an ephah of barley. An ephah is a container, not to be confused with an ephod, which is a vest. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed. So she took a portion for herself and gave the rest to her mother-in-law. So she's actually putting the bacon on the table, as it were. She's out there making ends meet for her and her mother-in-law. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Where did you work? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. To which Naomi replied, Yes, I know. See how I set you up? She didn't say any of that. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen. This is a type for the phrase, a kinsman's redeemer, right? This is something set up in the old days, and it's also something that Christ did for everybody. He became the kinsman redeemer. But there is a situation where someone of your family can step in and save you had you made a mistake or gotten down on your luck or whatever. And that kinsman redeemer is a very Christian idea, very Judeo-Christian idea. And it's about family. It's about taking care of each other. So, in effect, Boaz is the kinsman redeemer who will save these two ladies from their grief, having lost their husbands. And Ruth the Moabitess said, he said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. He told me I could work here until they got done. That's pretty sweet. So we're going to eat for a while. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field. Stay with Boaz, Ruth. It's good. You're doing a good thing here. You're getting taken care of. That's what's important. Keep in mind, in those days, these women did not have very many options. They either got married, or they lived at home with their father, or they got sold. That's it. So finding a good man with money, that was a blessing, and that's what all of them wanted. So this is not sexism. This is their choice. Remember, they came to him, not the other way around. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean into the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, 2 harvests, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? Behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor. See, here's another time Naomi steps in. She's like, hey, are you not getting the picture here? Young, strapping, good-looking, rich man, young maiden. I'll tell you where he's going to be at tonight. He's working at the threshing floor. Go there. Go to him. Strike up a conversation. Who knows, you might get lucky. Wash thyself, therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. Get all cleaned up and dolled up, put your good clothes on, and go meet the man. But make not thyself known unto the man until he have done eating and drinking. Wait until he's finished working. Don't pester him, but when he's free, make yourself known. And it shall be, when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay down there, or lay thee down. And he will tell thee what thou shalt do. Okay, this is a little bit weird, but this is the way it was done in those days. The feet are an erogenous zone, especially in those days. Why? I don't know. It's weird. But that's what they did. In fact, all the way up into the 60s, you couldn't even show a woman's ankle on TV without it being racy, you know. They actually, in the 40s, and before that, I don't know exactly what year, but like sometime in the, you know, early days of making furniture, they designed legs on tables and chairs to be sexual. That's why all the chairs have those curvy legs. I don't know if you were aware of that or not, but that was the intention. They looked like female legs to the people who designed them. And it was quite naughty to have a table with curvy legs in those days. I think it may have been the 1800s. I don't know what time it was, but I did read something about that at some point. So she's telling her, when he lays down to rest, find out where he's laying down to rest at and go in and uncover his feet and give him a foot massage. And he'll tell you if he wants to advance. Meaning, offer yourself to him and see if he takes the bait. If he takes the bait, you can marry him and live happily ever after. That's what's being said here. And she said unto her, All that thou sayest unto me I will do. This is a good decision, says Ruth. And she went down unto the floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he was lit 3 sheets to the wind, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid down at his feet, offering herself to him. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. You know, that would freak me out too if I passed out and woke up and there was a woman at my feet. Not sure what I'd do in that situation, but at first it would freak me out, for sure. And he said, "Who art thou?" And she answered, "I am Ruth, thine handmaiden. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaiden." Whoa. Let's get right to it then, shall we, Ruth? Easy, lady. Why so thirsty? For thou art a near kinsman. Translation, I am Ruth. Let's have sex right now. Because, you're the dude. That's what that statement means. That's what spreading thy skirt. And by the way, I said I would point it out when I saw it. And here it is again, third time in the Bible, that to spread thy skirt or to uncover thy nakedness means have sex. You understand? It's the same phrase. Uncover thy nakedness, spread thy skirt. It's the same. It's two sides of the same coin. It's the up and the down Schwartz. So that's what it means. And he said, "Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. You have given me yourself. You haven't been out whoring around trying to find you a partner. You hadn't been flirting with anybody. You've been very nice to me. Easy. I'm your guy, but slow your roll is what she's saying." Hey, Margie, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Kevin, welcome. "And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doth know that thou art virtuous, a virtuous woman." Everybody knows you're not a hoe. Everybody knows you're a good woman. You're hardworking. You've been out here every day working in the field with the men. Every day. I know you're virtuous. It's not happening tonight, by the way, but stay with me for a while and we'll see what happens. I know you're virtuous. I'm going to take you as my wife. I'll do everything you need me to do. I'll take care of you. But notice the chase here. Boaz doesn't take her immediately, which he absolutely can. She has offered him it all. And he says, no. "Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if we will perform unto thee the part of kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman part. Stay tonight, and in the morning, if you feel the same way, then I will do my part. I'm not going to take advantage of you," is what he's saying. "I'm going to be good to you because you've been good to me, and I'm going to be slow and patient, and we're going to work this thing out the right way, and it'll last." That's how marriages work. Not always the case, but always the intention if you're a good man. And he is a good man. Boaz is one of the most highly spoke about men in the Bible. "But," he says, "if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then I will do the part of the kinsman to thee. As the Lord liveth, lie down until the morning." See there? There seems to be a third person in this. I think what he's saying is, I might be wrong about this, so you might want to look into yourself. I'm going to read it again without stopping, and then I will dissect it. "Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman part. But if he will not do so, the part of a kinsman to thee, then I will do the part of the kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth, lie down until morning." I think what he's saying is, and this, I'm reading between the lines, so there is no clearer way to look at this. I think he's saying, wait till in the morning and then go look at the men that I have out there in the field, and if there's anybody your age that will take you, then let that be. But if nobody will have you, I will have you. I think that's what he's saying. I'm not real sure about that. You guys let me know how you interpret that. "And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another," before they could, explore the morning woods, if it were. "And he said, let it not be known that a woman came into the floor." So don't tell anybody you slept here tonight, because they'll all get ideas. Also, he said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her, and she went into the city. So she left not empty-handed. She got a full 6 measures of barley in her veil. Pretty nice guy. He could have totally taken advantage of her that night. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? Meaning, are you married yet? Are you my daughter or his wife? And she told her all that the man had done unto her. And she said, these 6 measures of barley gave he me, for he said to me, go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. And then she said, sit still, my daughter. I got to teach you a few things. She didn't say that. Until thou know how the matter will fall, sit still. Until you understand what's going on, sit there and think about it for a while. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the things of this day. Then Boaz went up to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by. Said, there's another kinsman. I thought there was. It didn't make that clear in that statement, but apparently there's a younger kinsman to these people. Boaz is one of them, but there's another one that's in that area. So he comes by, and Boaz has a talk with him. Unto whom he said, ho, such a one, turn aside and sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. So he called him away from the streets. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit ye down here. And they all sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother's Elimelech's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, bury it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people, if thou wilt. Redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know. For there is none to redeem it besides thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Not looking good for Boaz. What does this all mean? In those days, it was customary for a woman, when given to a man, to come with a dowry. A dowry is a parcel of land or some gold or some trinket to show the other family that she's worth having, right? Some valuable thing would go with her. That's why royalty marries within the family, so that they can accumulate land and property and wealth and all of that into one family. That's the reason for it. It has nothing to do with love or sex or anything like that. As is in those days, it is customary. So they have a parcel of land that belonged to Elimelech, which will obviously go with her if she marries. And she's already offered herself to Boaz. So now this younger bloke comes along and says, I'll redeem it. I'll buy the property. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. You get the cow, you get the farm. That's how it works. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. Translation, whoa. You didn't say anything about getting the cows with the farm. I ain't got that kind of money. I'm not that big. I was just trying to buy a piece of property, but if it's got to come with all of that, I'm out. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. This is the way it was in those days. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was a testimony in Israel. It's a weird one, but it's a handshake. You know what I mean? they're like more obsessed with feet than Quentin Tarantino is. Anyway, therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe, meaning, look, I can't afford it, but you might as well do it. Let's make a deal. That way nobody thinks that I got screwed or you got screwed. It's your deal, and we'll make a pact on it right now. Okay. And Boaz said, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Smart man. And Boaz said unto the elders, unto all the people ye are witness this day, that I have brought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Kilion's and Mahlon's, unto the hand of Naomi. I bought it. It's mine now. Everybody's witnessed it. I gave the right approach. I didn't take advantage of the girl. I didn't just gobble it all up. I offered it to the younger kinsman. He turned it down. Now I'm buying it. And everybody here's a witness, so hands off. Ruthie is mine. Moreover, Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife. To raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren. And from the gate of his place ye are witnesses this day. And that's another thing that was customary in those days that is not necessarily done today, is that when a man married a woman who's had a dead husband, when he gave her children, he would give them their last name, the guy who died. So he would raise up their inheritance as a matter of loyalty to his brother. Because remember, in those days, you were often marrying within the same tribe. You're of the same family anyway. You're like second cousins or whatever, first cousins, whatever. So when the man would give the new wife children, regardless of whether she had children by this man or not, he would give them their last name. See? It's pretty impressive that they used to do things that way. Men today would just have a panic attack if they had that thought. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. Yes, they did. And a couple others too, Sarah being one of them. Excuse me, Sarai. And do thou worthily in Ephrath, and be famous in Bethlehem, and let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of his young woman. So Boaz took Ruth. Apparently in those days, it was just as much of a trophy to have an old man have a young wife as it is today. But apparently Boaz is getting major cool points here because he's got him a young hot damsel, and he's going to be famous in Bethlehem. And may she have lots of children so she can raise up the other part of Israel. And she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. Now, this is the important part. Keep in mind, this was done the right way. This was chivalrous. This was respectful. He did not take advantage. He offered all the proper, appropriate ways of getting out of it. And when there was nobody to take, he took. It was his right to do so. And God blessed him with a son, which pushes his heir forward. So now his lineage will go on. And make no mistake about it, when you have children, you are being blessed by God. That is not an accident. A baby cannot live without a soul, and souls are issued by God. So you either have a baby or a miscarriage. That's the only two options. Or none at all. You might be barren, but God blesses you. Make no mistake about that. Be grateful for your children. Be happy you have them, whatever they may be. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. Now imagine that. We started this tale by Naomi complaining about all of her woes, how bad everything was, that God had cursed her. Did he, though? He led her right to Boaz. Boaz is going to take care of that whole family, her included, by marrying Ruth. That's a blessing. That's God's hand. Make no mistake. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him a son. This woman got out and worked in the field to prove her worth. What have you done lately, all you single ladies out there? What have you done to attract the man of your dreams? Are you just one of those people that sit on the couch and go, I need a top 1% man. He needs to make $1 million or I'm not going to do any housewife stuff. Are you one of those? Because if you are, you're never going to get a Boaz. Ever. You need to get down on your hands and knees and work and prove your worth. And when a man sees that, he will want nothing but you. That's what you do. That's how you do it. You want to complain on the internet about not being able to find a high-value man? Stop watching the internet, for one thing, and get out there in the world and show yourself. But more especially, show what you bring to the table. Because in the end, a marriage is a business proposition. What can we do together to make both of our lives better? It is not just about sex. It is not just about having a trophy wife. It's about improving your position in the world or spreading your seed. And the only way you can do that is somebody you trust. And this woman, Ruth, is better to her mother-in-law than 7 sons. 7 sons couldn't do what she did. And Naomi took the child and laid it on her bosom and became nurse unto it. April says, I don't bow down to man but God. Getting on your hands and knees is not bowing down, honey. That's working. That's what I meant. I didn't mean bow down. I meant work. Prove your worth. And you've already done that, so you're out of the conversation. So Naomi becomes the nurse to Boaz and Ruth's baby. Pretty smart move on her part to hook them two up. And the women, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. Well, no, this isn't born to Naomi. This is born to Ruth. However, you know, she did do the raising, so might as well be her kid. Now, these are the generations of Pharez mentioned earlier. Pharez begat Hezron, and Hezron begat Ram, and Ram begat Amminadab, and Amminadab begat Nahshon, and Nahshon begat Solomon, and Solomon begat Boaz, and Boaz begat Obed, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David. This is the key of David. This is a very, very important family. You understand? This is the key of David. You must understand who this family is, because through this family will come Christ. David is the great-great-grandfather of Christ. You understand? So, David, Solomon, Solomon's son, on and on and on. So, from Amminadab to Nahshon to Solomon to Boaz, who we're talking about right now, his son Obed begats Jesse, who's David and his brother's father. I can't remember the brothers' names, but David is the one who went out as a child and defeated the giant Goliath and solidified his fame to later become king of all Israel in place of Saul, who we're getting to closely. and that be the book of Ruth. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Tomorrow night, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise and I can keep the lights on, we'll start with the book of Samuel. And there are some very, very important things that happen in the book of Samuel. I hope you join me for it. I hope you are as excited about it as I am. I hope that story touched your heart and caused you to think and caused you to reach out and be ever closer to your Father God. Find out who he is. Find out what he wants. Find out what your purpose and your role is in all of this. Because you, make no mistake about it, are part of one of the families we talk about in the Bible. You came from one of them. Might as well find out who. While you're pondering that, will you please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's right in front of you. It's effortless, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms. Helps us get recommended to other people. So won't you do that, please? Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critical. That's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God, if you can see the value of what I'm trying to build here, and you'd like to help out, you'd like to help me keep everything going around here, and you'd like to be part of this special thing that I'm doing, you can do that. You can support my work by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or if you're a CashApp user, you can go to $JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing to me. It's a blessing to you too, because we live in a reciprocal universe and God notices these things. Believe that. I will do everything in my power to be worthy of your support and be contentious and responsible with it. And with that, I will answer all of your questions and comments by finishing out this video. Thank you. April says, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Share, support, love. Yeah, God bless. Yes, please do all of those things. It's been a rough one. Questions? Anybody got anything to say about what we just read? Any ideas? Any thoughts? Fab Daddy says, if I ever hook up again, that woman is going to work for it. Well, you better too. Keep in mind, Boaz was working double shifts. He was at night threshing in the threshing floor till he got tired. So he didn't just work all day, he worked all night too. Both of those people deserved each other. What family are you from, Jake? I have no idea, but I can tell you that it came from the Irish, which comes from Esau. Esau is the redheaded one. And I'm from Native American, which comes from Dan, probably. I don't know. That's a good question. I have never done a 23andMe to find out what part of the world my ancestors came from. I know I'm Irish and I'm Native American, so you do the math. There are 12 tribes, and if you look really close, there's also 12 kinds of people in the world. And also 12 notes on the musical scale, and 12 months in the year. You know, on and on and on. 12 pops up a lot. Irish and Indian, I don't know exactly. I know where the Irish come from by way of what they are. They're redheads. So they came from Esau or from Edom. They were Edomites originally. But I'm only partially Irish, so I'm a bit of a mutt, if that helps. And so is everybody else, you know, too. There's very few purebreds left in the world. 12 from 2. Nest pass. Don't know what that means. Pardon me for a minute. I got to handle something. I'll be right back. told you that wouldn't take me just a minute. I'm a mutt too, says April. Yeah. Nest pass equals, is it not? Okay. 12 from 2 is -8. It is a good question, though. What family are you from? Well, you have to find out what region you're from, or your ancestors. What is most predominant in your mixed blood, because you are a Gentile, like it or not. Unless you're Ashkenazi Jew or something like that, you are a Gentile. So, pronounced Nespal. Got it. I'll have to look into that. I don't know what you're getting at. What is the reference 12 from 2? Yeah, we're from Adam and Eve. At some point. Actually, we're not, because all of those people died. The only people that survived was from one family, Noah's. So we're from Noah and his wife, or one of their sons. Adam and Eve are the mother of all living. Eve is the mother of all living because they got us to Noah, but then everybody was destroyed and they had to start over. And from them came the 12 tribes. So we're of that lineage in some way, which culminates in Judah. So that's a good possibility also, the tribe of Judah, which is the king line, which I am most certainly not a part of because I don't have any kingly aspirations, nor do I have any kingly wealth. We're from Seth family. At some point, yes. But like I said, Noah, that's where we come from. We wouldn't be here otherwise. Because everybody else in the world died. I know that's hard to get your head around, but do some math. You'll figure it out. Think about bottlenecks. That'll give you a path to go on. And then just work backwards per generation. And you'll figure it out that you'll get about 4,000 years worth of people if you start at 2 or 8 and work your way up to 7 billion. Dana, greetings. Welcome to the show. Uh-oh. Oh, no. My flint just went out. That's not good. Let me see. Do I have another flint? Takes 2 lighters to light 1 cigarette. Walter Davis, what's up, buddy? Hi, Jake, Fab, April, Kevin, Margie, Lisa-Reen. Yeah, is Lisa-Reen back? I hadn't heard her talk. And hi, Dana. Welcome. April says, hello, Dana. Good to see you, love. Fab Daddy says, hi, Walter and Dana. We had a good read tonight. I hope you get to see it and enjoy it. I just finished dinner. Don't tease me. It's not very nice. Just messing with you. Use the toaster to light your cigarette. I don't have a toaster. I do have 2 lighters, though. Fab Daddy says, I've done it. I've done it before, too. My house is still under construction. Nice, says April. I am hungry. We're going to grab a bite. I don't know where yet. Well, that's lovely. I wish you luck in your endeavor. It'll be tomorrow before I do that. I will listen from the start, says Walter. I hope so. It's a good read tonight. A lot of good information, especially for young strapping bucks. Stovetop work, says Fab Daddy. Yes, it does. April says, me 3, LOL. You 3? Who said me too? is the new tire on the motorcycle working? It's working perfectly. Now I got to get the front one. It's doing well, though. It's a good tire. I finally got that done. Now I got to get the front one done. Then I got to tackle the brakes, which haven't been worked on in quite a while. If I weren't such a skilled driver, it would kill me. Put it that way. I said me too? Oh, my bad. I don't remember. I don't even know what we were talking about. Pound me too. Pound me too. It never ends like dishes and laundry, says Fab Daddy. Dana says, Fab Daddy, in French, nesty pas means is it not? The nesty pause means not. Well, there you go. I don't speak French, so it looks like a chocolate drink to me. See what I did there? I'm playing dumb for your benefit. I hope you enjoy it. Fab Daddy Heart. You guys are so nice. I love y'all so much. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. And also, I hope you have some questions because I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs and I need to answer some questions. That's what I do. Or, comments. Don't have to be a question. French slang is like English slang. We make it easy. I know oui, oui. And je t'adore. And parlez-vous français? That's it. Oh, and I know voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Pretty much song titles. That's what I know. Look, you've embarrassed me. And Southern slang. You watch your mouth, boy. I know Southern slang. I do love Evian water, which is made by the French Alps. LOL. I hate to tell you this, honey. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but look on the bottle and see who owns Evian. And you'll find out that it comes from the Great Lakes like every other bottle of water in this country does. God bless your soul, sweetie. No, that's wrong. It's bless your little pea-picking heart. That's how it goes. No. Interestingly, there's a very interesting documentary called Hershey. You should look into it and watch that documentary and see what they've done to the Great Lakes and to the people who live around it. They have basically, through the loopholes of, lobbyists, they have basically went sideways into the land and stuck a pipe into the Great Lakes and is sucking it out free of charge, and everybody else's water table is gone. So they're getting all of their water for free, or very little. Not good. But that's the nature of capitalism, I suppose. It's kind of like a cartoon bad guy, if you think about it. Good old Nestle. They make great candy bars, though. I'm already gone nuts. Well, in that case, you should find somebody that's got some chocolate and make a candy bar. If life gives you lemons, you should find somebody whose life gave them vodka and make screwdrivers. Get to know your politicians, and you can get free stuff, says Bab Daddy. That's true. To some degree, that is true. You definitely sway more power than the average bear if you know a politician. I do not. I know one politician, but I don't want to have anything to do with him. Wrong kind of politician, if you know what I mean. Old dear Don Davis, who may very well be vice president one day, so look out for that name, Don Davis, from North Carolina. I hope not, but such is the game of politics. He's being groomed as we speak. That's all I know. Whether it'll ever pan out is up to the stars, I guess, or whoever's in charge of all that. Walter Davis says, look into the salt mine in Detroit that is under the lake. If the roof ever cracks, the Mississippi River Basin is going to be salt water and the center of the USA is dead. That is a possibility. I got news for you, though. It's already been salt water at one point. And it recovered, so it may do so again. I don't know. I can't and won't believe what a politician promises, says Fab Daddy. I don't blame you a bit because most of them are talking out of both sides of their mouth. Oh, good Lord, says April. Don't speak of it, Walter. It's real and spooky stuff, says Walter. Well, there's a lot of that going on. For that matter, look into PG&E, the electric companies. Oh, that movie, I can't remember the lady's name. Played by Julia Roberts, but I can't remember her name. That's a true story. Erin Brockovich, that's the name. Look into the name Erin Brockovich and see what she wrote about. Walter, how's your third party going, says Fab Daddy. Yeah, Walter, ain't you a politician, sort of? You got my vote. Long as you kick back to the podcast a little. We'll start you off right with a little pay for play. Before the last ice age, the center of the USA was an inland sea because of the glaciers melting. It cleaned it out. That was after the last ice age. The glacier is a product of the ice age, and before that, all continents were one continent. The flood is what separated them. MVTV showing up in grand old time. What's up, buddy? I get an annual check from my electric company because we're a co-op. Lurking in the background, by the way. Yo, all. Good to see you, MVTV. I'd like to get a check or two. I'm getting tired of working for free. I've been doing that for years. But you know what? It ain't free because a lot of good things come out of it, and that's worth it. Definitely. It's a tough thing, says Walter. Andrew Yang's forward party might be winning things this week. This week gave time to reach out and talk to them. Excellent. April says, wow, that's very interesting yet scary, Walter. Hello, MVTV. Good to see you, love. MVTV says, severe storm hit in repairing the garden storm damage, which is possible. Corn stalks got pushed over in long rows. Yeah, but they're not dead. Just pull them back up, put some wire on them, hold them up. That'll work. I will ask you a question I asked on other channels. If you could, do you prefer to shower as a couple or not? Are you saying, do I follow the Chevy Chase methodology of the world to save water and shower with a friend? Absolutely. I'm all for it. Walter Davis says, hey, Montana. MVTV says, April. Walter, evening. April says, Kevin and I used to LOL sometimes. It's nice. It's not fun when you're fat, though. Just flubbing suds everywhere. Flipping and flapping all over the place. But when you're young and buff, it's lovely. When you both fit in the shower. Washington, D.C. got hit by a big storm. I'm guessing they will blame Trump. I'm guessing you're right. Matter of fact, they did blame Trump, or at least Hillary did, for climate change or some such. The heat. That's the heat. She's blaming Trump for it. I can't believe they did that. I don't think they did. April says, LOL. Two fat people in a sudsy bathtub. Ugh. I need 2 shower heads, or it's a fight for the water. No, you're doing it wrong. Both get under the water. You follow? Yeah, they will, says April. LOL. MVTV says, try taking a gorgeous surgical nurse into a hot springs. Oh, the days. You know what's even better than the hot springs? Cold springs, because then they jump out and want to warm up. Make sure they're in a bikini when you throw them in, though. I am taller than the shower head. I will block it. You're not using your imagination, buddy. April says, Walter, hilarious. I can't stop laughing at that. Good Lord. Well, anyway, showering with a friend is lovely, but there are other ways to conserve water. Curse you, Fab Daddy. Nice memories, but a bit distracting. Don't be taking matters into your own hands now. That was funny. Blame Trump. It's true. They will. They'll blame him for everything. They want that man gone bad. And you know why? Because they're terrified of him. Fab Daddy says, too late, MVTV, got a curse block. You guys are hilarious. Well, it is the top of the hour, and I got to go to bed and dream about getting up and go to work in the morning. It's so obvious. But no, he won't go right on. Go Trump. I hope he won't. I hope he toughs it out. And I hope all of this rolls off his back like everything else has. But you never know. You poke at something long enough, you'll eventually stick it. MVTV says some of the closer lightning strikes too. Bah, bam. More like an airliner crashing in the ground. Makes you drop to your knees. Well, almost. If it's right overhead, it does. I've had that experience a few times. Very loud thunder cracks. Trump is a chump. Lock him up, says Fab Daddy. What one thing has Trump ever done to you? Just like Hillary. No, not just like Hillary. Trump doesn't have a body count that's continuously rising. But, whatever. Fair is fair. April says, yes, much love to everyone. May God bless y'all. Sweetest dreams. See everyone tomorrow night. MVTV says, I bet whatever does happen will be so beyond our imagination it will make the last years look like a wannabe street show. Gird them girdles, folks. Erase the servers. What servers? Are you talking about Trump or Hillary? Because Trump didn't do that. Hillary did. I'm not suggesting Trump is a nice guy. In fact, he's kind of an asshole. That's the very reason he got my vote. Just so you know. Kevin is driving. He says good night, and he loves you. I love him, too. Thank you very much. Tell him to order me a steak. I could use one. Trump did in Mar-a-Lago. No, he did not. There were no servers in Mar-a-Lago. They took cardboard boxes out of his house, not servers. Your information is incorrect, sir. And those cardboard boxes are the same cardboard boxes that every president in existence has ever had. Same ones. Same ones that Joe Biden has, which was not legal because he was a vice president, which does not have the right to declassify anything. And he had 3 times as many and 2 times as many locations as Trump did. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying it wasn't wrong. They're using it as an excuse to go after him because they're terrified of him. That's all there is to that. And they should be, because he's going to win if they don't. Temp says, good night, go to bed. Got a nice rising wind to blow away the flies. Gorgeous 70 now with more blue than storms. Very nice. Nice. Walter says, as far as Trump goes, if you want the crooks to get tossed out, Trump is your guy because he is pissed and on a mission. Everyone else will just go along to get along. And I agree with that 100%. There are good things about Trump. There are good things. There are some bad things, too. I'm not denying that. But there are plenty of good things to vote for Trump for. Yes, he did by asking for the video to be erased. You're talking about his video of his property in his house. Why do you think he asked it to be erased? You think it's because he did something he shouldn't have done? Or because he didn't want them to use it to make fool of him? Keep in mind that Donald J. Trump is the most investigated man in human history. For the past 7 years, he has had every agency on planet Earth in this country climbing up his ass every day of the year, all year, the whole time. All of the media, all of the talking heads, all of the newspapers, all of the politicians, all of them are against that man. And the best they can come up with is he took some documents from the White House when he left as president, which was his right to do. Think about that for a minute, and you tell me if he did anything wrong. Because if he had done anything wrong, I promise you they would have found it and used it. If they didn't use it, then what you heard was a talking point, and you've been snowed by the other side. Because if they could use it, they would. They want him gone. If erasing his own video was a bad thing, I promise you he would be in jail for it. I promise. The fact that he is free right now as we speak should tell you everything you need to know. But if you just don't like the guy, you just don't like the guy. I understand that. Margie says, where did it go? I think I missed it. I'll find it. Hang on. Good night, Jake and friends. Sweet dreams to all. Thank you, Margie. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Walter says, Trump had everything from clothes to soccer balls in those boxes. Yeah. And it was his right to do so. He was the president. He can declassify anything he wants. And guess what it takes to declassify something? I'm taking that. That's all it takes. It's his prerogative. They serve at the pleasure of the president, not the other way around. There is no higher bar. There is nobody above him. Not the Library of Congress, not the alphabet agencies, not the Congress, not the House or the Senate, which is the House. Sweet dreams, love, says April. Fab Daddy says, all politicians suck. I worry about everyone putting them up on a pedestal. I'm not putting him up on a pedestal. I believe I said he was an asshole. I know what he is. That's why I voted for him, because I recognize what I'm looking at. I know he's not lying to me. And when he does lie, I'm aware of that too, because he broadcasts it. That's why I voted for him. That's why I voted for him then. That's why I'll vote for him again. Because I recognize what I'm looking at. I know what kind of asshole he is. I know what kind of absurdities I can look forward to. And I also know that his foreign policy is fantastic, and all of the people that run other countries, whether they like him or not, respect him. And all the nonsense that was going on right now was not going on while he was president, nor would it have. So you can think of how you want to think about Trump. I won't disagree with you. He is that, I'm sure. But he's the best thing we got going for us right now. I hate that that's the case, but it is. MVTV says Trump's problem is that he doesn't know when to let some things go. That's true. He's a fighter. You punch him, he's going to keep punching you until you don't breathe anymore. I can respect that, though. I don't agree with it. I wouldn't do it that way, but it works for him. Reminds me of myself, but I ain't a candidate. But if that's the only problem, his competence outweighs the bad. Right. Dana says, I've heard some people to call Hillary Hitlery. They're a lot closer than they are when they call Trump Hitler, I can tell you that. Look into what that woman's done. That's a crazy-ass woman. It ain't got nothing to do with her being a Democrat either. It's got to do with her being evil as the driven snow is white. Fab Daddy says, same thing Hillary did. No, sir. Not the same thing Hillary did. What Hillary did was have classified documents in a computer server in her bathroom without having any security around it. And everybody was hacking into it at all times. That was the plan. That was the reason. It's called pay for play. She would get donations to the Clinton Foundation, and documents would disappear out of her server, and nobody was the wiser because the government didn't know about it, and she didn't tell anybody about it until they found out about it. And then she went and bleach bitted it so that it couldn't be recovered. And then she smashed all of her phones with a hammer. And then she lied, and then she stole documents, and then she killed people, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Trump didn't do any of those things. Not the same thing she did. I'm sorry. April says, love, 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 Dana. LOL, good one. Yeah. No, says Fab Daddy. Where'd it go? I guess I lost it. Oh, here it is. Fab Daddy says, he has many indictments, but money clears a name. Sorry, you're wrong. He does have many indictments. Indictments are the elite's way of saying, I'm going to get you, tag, you're it. But they have to go to court. And he hasn't had his day in court. So an indictment means nothing until the court says he did something wrong, which he didn't. So they're going to say, no, he didn't do anything wrong, which they've already done in the previous two indictments and will do so in the rest of them, I'm sure. They have not got him on anything. All they've done is accused him of stuff. And yes, money does clear a name. But in this case, they wouldn't take his money. They hate him. They want him in prison. All of them. Why do they hate him so much? Have you asked that question? Is it because he's such a bad guy, or is it because he threatens the existential meaning of the word politician? He threatens to upset the apple cart. He threatens to get rid of the status quo. He isn't planned. It was an accident that he won in the first place. He's not one of the groomed next president types. He's a fly in the ointment, as it were, which is why you should vote for him. And for no other reason. Walter says, when they went into Mar-a-Lago, they searched his son's house. When they picked up the documents from Joe's house, they didn't check Hunter's room. Why? Well, because they weren't trying to get Hunter or Biden. They were just doing what they had to do because they had already done it to Trump, and it was wrong to do it to him. But they thought if they did it to both sides, maybe it would wash out. They didn't say anything about the papers he had in Chinatown or at that library at that college, just the ones in his garage, his open garage with no security or cameras. Why do politicians keep their claws in their graft jobs until they're freaking mummies? Oh, don't get me started. Our government is so compromised, now it needs a nuke like Trump. Agreed. Most risk in history now. That's right. Amen, says April. Fab Daddy says, Hunter was snorkeling coke in the West Wing. Yes, he was, and nobody can figure it out. They actually found cocaine in baggies in the West Wing, and nobody can figure out whose it belongs to. Keep in mind that is the most surveilled building in the world. You can't walk in there with a piece of plutonium in your pocket. But you can walk in there with a bag of cocaine and nobody will see you, apparently. They all have their vices, says April. That's true. Fab Daddy says, oh, my Lord, all politicians lie. Very true. Every single one of them, including Trump. But the difference is when Trump lies, you know he's lying. You know he's playing the game. Some of them are so slick, like Newsom, that you can't tell whether he's lying or not because he's always got that Cheshire cat grin on his face. He's phony as the day is long. Trump, even though he does lie, is not phony. You can see right through it, which is why I voted for him, because I recognize it. Simple as that. Just like everybody in the world, nobody's perfect, says April. True. Politics aside, I went out to the garden to see what the last 2 feet of the large snake slither in, and Barley shrugged. Okay. Getting used to it. Saw bull snake, smooth tail, but I sure am acclimating to serpents. Be wiser than the serpent, MVTV. Trump just lies really good. He really doesn't. If he lies so good, how do you know about it? April says, true. Best liar wins the election for the most part. I still love you, Fab Daddy, says April. I still love you too, buddy. Fab Daddy says, I love you too, April. Walter says, I met a guy in the mid-'80s who was a mechanic and stopped to fix a broken limo on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike. Got it running, and the driver said the guy in the car wants to give you some money. Yeah, I've heard this story. You met that guy? Interesting. There we go. Sorry, my chat jumped. I can argue and not get upset, says Fab Daddy. That's excellent. Me too. April says, thanks, man. Oh, Walter says, the guy said no. We sell those cars at the dealership. I'm just doing my job. Margie Allen says, right on, Trump. Support Trump. Yeah, buddy. Me too. Amen. April says, it's all good. Much love to Walter. Right on. Kevin says, I just parked. I heard you, Fab Daddy. I disagree with you, but respect your right to your own opinions. I am a Trump fan. Go Donald. I agree. And we do respect your right to believe whatever you believe. And that is your business. And I will fight to the death so that you can have it, that opinion. His mortgage payment got returned the next month. It was Trump in the limo, and he paid off his mortgage as a thanks for fixing the car. Yeah, that's beautiful, and I've heard that story before. I've also heard other stories, which most people never talk about. April says, go Margie. Yes, woo, Trump all the way, yay. Well, I guess that's where the chat shakes out there, Fab Daddy. Even though I differ politically from you guys and gals, we have Untethered Live in common, and probably much, much more. I would agree with you. Very much more. That politics is just a small part of thinking, and everybody's going to fall on one side or the other. Doesn't matter. Left wing, right wing, same bird for the most part. Little one, welcome to the show. Killary is crazy, like all crazy women. They all take your dog and four-wheeler in the end. I hear you, little one. Walter says, true story. I know it's a true story. I've heard it before. April says, little one, hi. And that's a sad story. It's a country song. Pretty sure I've heard that one. I do not like people making fun of Biden for his dementia, says Kevin. That is a sad thing to happen to anyone. However, I cannot stand his and the Democrats' present policies. If they are smart, the Democrats need to go. Oh, if they are smart, the Democrats will put up RFK. Yeah, well, I would vote for RFK. Not over Trump, but I would vote for him. But here's the problem. Democrats are sick right now, and I'm not talking about liberals. I'm talking about the Democrats, the left-wing, extreme left-wing people that are in power right now. They're sick. And all left-wing politicians are going to vote left-wing. So you cannot vote for a left-wing politician right now because they're not liberal. They're left-wing, which is a big different thing. Our friend Fab Daddy is liberal, but I don't know if he knows the difference. There's nothing wrong with being liberal. You can have that opinion all you want. If you're a politician, though, you're going to vote with the pack. You're going to vote liberal. And the ones that are in charge are crazy. And if they get the votes, they do really crazy shit with the power they accrue. And they get more power and more power and more power. And your rights are going down the whole way. So right now, in this present part of the world, this present timeline that we're in, you cannot vote for a Democrat. Not one. Because if you do, it goes up the ladder. And if it goes up the ladder, crazy shit happens. So stop voting Democrat for a little while. Show them they can't be crazy. Show them they need to let the real Democrats, the real liberals, back into power so they can be rational and think things through and work with the Republicans and get the world going again. That's my thoughts on the subject. Do what you're going to do. April says, well, my dog's already gone, and I don't own a four-wheeler. Little one says, all good. I set her camper on fire. Wow. Rough, little one. This is a biblical channel. Calm down. Kevin Cox says, hey, Walter. MBTV says, man, at this point, despite doing it here, I'm done talking politics. If the damage, corruption, and historical disgraces aren't clear, I need not say a thing. Exactly. I try not to talk politics either, but you guys I'm safe around, so I can talk whatever I feel. April says, cool. I've set things on fire too. Oh, yeah. April says, absolutely, Jake. Right on. Kevin says, they found cokiness in Studio 54 in the 80s. Where was Hunter then? I don't know. He's probably at the White House dropping his cocaine. If anybody doesn't know who that cocaine belonged to, they're not paying attention. MVTV says, that's politics, but never be so frustrated to share your view. Amen. LOL Kevin, says April. Cocaine, not cookiness. I got what you were saying. Walter says, both houses of Congress, both sides of the aisle became incredibly crooked under Obama. Republican and Democrat leadership are on the same team now, and I agree with that 100%. And I think on both sides, the top tiers, the leadership, are crazy, and we need to get them out of office. How do you do that? Well, for one thing, you vote for Trump, because they'll be gone shortly thereafter. At least I hope so. Who knows? Kevin says, night, Jake. Kevin, enjoy your meal. Order me a steak, by the way. I'm starving. April says, I don't like politics, but Trump is the best to be voted in. Maybe we can gain 4 years if peace, I pray. I hope so. I hope he's right when he says he can stop this war in 24 hours. I don't know. All I know is that sounds a lot better to me than what the other side is saying. Remember in that town hall where that crazy woman kept pressing him about which side he wanted to win, Ukraine or Russia, and he kept saying, they need to stop dying. They're dying. I want that to stop. Doesn't matter what side they're on. Both sides. I want them to stop dying, which is the best answer I could ask for. I met him in a bar, says Walter Davis. You must mean the guy who fixed the car. Good night, everybody, says Fab Daddy, and have a great week. I'll see you hopefully. Well, hopefully you'll be here tomorrow night. Take care, Fab, says Walter. In Bedminster, where his golf course is, when it was built, he bought lunch for everyone on the job. Had the newspapers there. When he picked up the food to give them publicly. Very nice. April says, see everyone tomorrow. I love you all true. Fab Daddy says, to hell with you for calling me a liberal. Are you not a liberal? Are you not liberal-minded? Sorry, that's the way I took it. What are you? Walter Davis says, RFK is a good guy and smart. Yes, he is. But he is really extreme when it comes to the environment. Expect to have no running water, sewers, or electricity if he wins. Well, I don't know about all that, but you might be right. I don't know. He is a liberal, so all his ideas can't be great. But he is smart, and he is respectable, and he's the only guy running for office at this current moment that can do 100 push-ups. So that's something. Walter says, I'm at the point where I think what I think. But I'm in this world, not of this world. Amen, brother. You have to tarry. You don't have to be part of it. You just have to live here long enough for Christ to come back. That's right. Take care, Fab, says Walter. Take care, April, says Walter. Walter says, if Trump wins, he will inherit a debt obligation that is going to be the biggest budget item. A year later, it will be bigger than the military and Social Security. Soon after, it will be everything. I agree. The Treasury, it will be everything the Treasury takes in. I agree. Well, we've gotten out of hand with spending, and there ain't but one way to make money, and that's to spend money. So before it gets lower, we got to get it bigger. I understand that. I am liberal, probably more than you, but to call me liberal is like to call you a famous YouTuber. Touché. I never claimed to be famous. But I apologize if I offended you. However, calling you liberal was not intended as an insult. Calling me a not-so-famous YouTuber was. So that tells you where we stand on the difference. Nonetheless, I'm not offended because I know where I stand. I'm a solid 6 if there ever was one. I'm okay with that. All right. I've gone over time. No, says Fab Daddy. Really? Sounded it was insulting to me. Liberal is fine, says Walter. Progressive communists is a problem. Right. I have no problem with liberals. I do have problems with communists and socialists and anarchists and all the other nonsense, wokeism, leftist bullshit. You're an 11 in my book. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm not, but thank you. All right, boys and girls, I got to go to bed and get up early in the morning and get out of here because I got things I got to take care of tomorrow morning. Have a great night. I love you all. Fab Daddy says, Figure 1A, why I don't talk. Politics now. All good, both of you. Oh, yeah, it's all good. We're just ribbing at each other. Fab Daddy's good people. He knows that I'll take it where he pushes it. Always do. That's my job. I sell crazy around here, and we're all stocked up. Walter says, the idea it will work this time is not good thinking. Well, I agree. I'm not saying it will work. I'm just saying it's the best option we have. I mean, would you like to have 4 more years of Biden? I wouldn't. I think he's just about destroyed the planet. At least a part of it we're on. Nonetheless, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Geez, Jake, twice now you said Fab Daddy said my words and vice versa. Go to bed. Huh? Twice now you said Fab Daddy said my words. Oh, sorry. My bad. I don't think I did. I think I said Fab Daddy's good people. I think that's what I said. But yeah, I am getting tired. Walter says, take care all. God bless. And thanks, Jake. I kind of need your advice. Can I tell you? Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you my advice. If you want it to be private, you can email me right here. Or if you just want to spurt it out, I'll read it and give you my advice. But you got it. You always, everybody here, you got me. If you need me, call me or text me. MVTV says, no, go to bed. I'm working on it. Fab Daddy and Temp MVTV is very similar, says Fab Daddy. MVTV says, yo, Fabs. Oh, can I call you? Yes, you can call me. But not tonight because my phone's off. You have to email me. You'll have to email me. My phone will be back on Wednesday. You have my number, don't you? If not, I'll give it to you. But you can't call me till Wednesday. But you can email me right now. And I'll check it and respond. Yeah, I thought you did. But yeah, you can call me anytime as long as my phone's on. I just can't answer it right now. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow night, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. God bless you all. Thanks for keeping the chat so interesting and edgy. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Great 2-hour show, Jake. You're famous with me. Well, thank you, sir. I got to go to bed and get a bank account. I got to go and get a bank account. Well, if you need one, that's up to you. You don't have to have a bank account. You can put your money in a pillow or in a jar, bury it under the front porch, back porch, whatever. But if you need it, you need it. I would recommend getting a CashApp account or a PayPal account and using that for money. Put money, you can go down to the local dollar store and add money to your account. Costs $3, about like using an ATM, and it's traceable to the internet. Won't come back to your house. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm getting wishy-washy. Talk to my sister about doing an account. Oh, cool. Oh, doing a concert. I see. I talked to my sister about doing a concert. I didn't know that. Thanks. Well, you know, that's what I do. But if you need a bank account, you need a bank account. Either way, you can get a credit card from PayPal or CashApp and use it like a debit card. Just put money on your account and then use that card. It takes about a week once you apply for it to get it. And they didn't ask me any questions. So, you know, it's easy. Anyway. About doing a concert on the farm. Oh, okay. Well, let me know the details and I'll come do it. As long as there's a little cash in it for me, I'll be right on up that way. Got to at least cover my expenses. And maybe a meal. Be nice. And some Mountain Dew. That's a necessity. I'm not hard to please. No plastic, unlike Hollywood old actors, says Fab Daddy. Ah. You saying you don't have a credit card? Is that what you're saying? I understand. I didn't for a long time, but now I have to make transactions online, so I needed one. All right. Good night, everybody. I love you. Thanks for watching.